Is Seamus Carney, the right fielder, batting second. He's on deck, followed by Cole Gardner, the shortstop. He'll bat third this inning. We'll give you the rest of their lineup here in just a moment. The 2-1, another breaking pitch, catches the corner, and it's a 2-2 count. Jones likes the sign and comes home. He just missed the corner with that one and runs the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. There's a shot towards second, fielded cleanly by Kyle Stover, and throws out Hillman over at first for the game's first out. Seamus Kearney will bat, and he is a left-handed batter. Is Wellsville with some pretty nifty uniforms, the bright red and blue. Lefty versus lefty here, and Jones' first pitch to Kearney stays low. Just underway, semifinal number 2. We play 7 innings here. This one stays outside, 2 balls, no strikes. I mentioned Gardner, the shortstop. He's on deck now, the number 3 hitter. Shane Picorni, the third baseman, bats 4th. Nolan Rush will bat 5th and plays center field. The left fielder is Luke Meyer. He bats 6th. Mitchell Huffman does the catching and will bat 7th. Cameron Lyons, the DH for Wellsville. He bats 8th, and Jacob Brown is over at first base, and he'll bat 9th. Phil Pearson is the head coach of Wellsville. 3-0 is in there for a strike. Seamus Kearney, he'll be patrolling right field here this afternoon. Good looking left-handed batter here early in the lineup, and Seamus Kearney draws a 1-out walk. Here comes shortstop Cole Gardner, the number 3 hitter. Around the infield for Sacred Heart, Dalton Dooley's at third. Travis Wassinger is the shortstop. Kyle Stover at second. And Dylan Bassett is the Sacred Heart first baseman. Mentioned Jones, your pitcher. Tate Richards is the catcher. There's a pitch in there for a strike from Jones. From left to right in the outfield, Daniel O'Brien, Matt Kufler, and Damon Gormley. Patrolling the outfield here at Frank Myers Field, as Jones gonna flip one over to first to keep the runner Kearney close. Still a bit of an overcast sky, some clouds around, which is good news for everybody, especially the players out there and the umpires, as game time temperature getting closer and closer to 90 here from Manhattan. Expect temperatures to be in the low 90s here today. The 1-1, there's a chopper towards short. O'Brien boots it. That's going to be an error on the Sacred Heart shortstop. So Wellsville getting something going here in the top of the first inning. Gonna wait for the official score to make the call, and indeed they will assess the Sacred Heart shortstop an error, and Kearney and Gardner now will be on base with just 1 out. There's a curveball in there for a strike. Pretty good breeze out there as well, blowing from right to left, so if you happen to get one up in that jet stream toward left field, it may carry a ways. There's a chopper up through the box and on into center field for a hit. Picorni's going to have an RBI, and now Gardner's going to move into third base as they had trouble getting it back to the infield. So early early on, Wellsville takes the 1-0 lead. As you take another look, right through the box. Good effort by Stover, the second baseman, but comes up empty. And then there you see the misplay out in center field, allowing Gardner to move on over to third base. So runners at the corners, and here's Nolan Rush, the Eagles center fielder. There's a line drive caught by the pitcher, and they're gonna double up Picorni at first base, and what could have been a big inning for Wellsville ends up only being a run. The Eagles plate 1-on-1 hit. There was an error, and they end up stranding one after that double play. We've played a half an inning. It's the Eagles of Wellsville 1, Sacred Heart coming up.
Thank you. Can I help you today?
No thanks. I'm just looking. Oh, this is cute. So?
Too tight-headed! Yeah!
You wouldn't do it there. So, don't do it here. Sportsmanship. It's up to you.
Like they're the fashion police.
Back here from Manhattan. Wellsville just plated a run, but could have been much worse. They lead at 1-0 as the Knights of Sacred Heart get ready to swing the bats for the first time. We'll run through their lineup quickly for you as they'll go a lineup that looks like this. Daniel O'Brien will lead off and play left field. Kyler Stover will play second base and bat second. Hitting third is Dalton Dooley. He'll be the third baseman. Mentioned Blake Jones, the pitcher for Sacred Heart. He bats in the cleanup spot. Dylan Bassett will play first base and bat fifth. Travis Wassinger is at shortstop. He bats sixth. Matt Kufler is the Knights center fielder. He'll bat seventh. Hitting eighth and playing right field, Damon Gormley. And rounding out the Sacred Heart lineup, batting ninth, Nick Wuthwo. The designated hitter, the head coach of the Knights is Brad Dix. We'll give you the Wellsville defense here in just a moment. Daniel O'Brien is in the batter's box, and pitcher Shane Hillman is ready to go to work, and he deals the right-hander for the Wellsville Eagles. And second pitch swinging, sky one to center. Camped under it is Nolan Rush, and then you can see that wind push him back a few steps there at the end, and he nearly had that ball sneak over his head, and that would have been big-time trouble for Wellsville, but it ends up being an out, but it ended up being an adventure for Rush. See him backpedaling and able to register the first out. Kyler Stover will bat from the right side, the Sacred Heart second baseman. That one stays a bit high for Wellsville. Across the infield from third to first is Picorni, Gardner, Smith, and Brown. The foul back. Mentioned the pitcher is Shane Hillman. The catcher is Mitchell Huffman. From left to right, Luke Meyer, Nolan Rush, and Seamus Carney. And I can assure you the center fielder Nolan Rush is well into this game after making that adventurous catch just a moment ago. Two balls, two strikes on Stover. Pitch a little bit out, maybe a little low, and we'll go full here with the number 2 hitter. There's a shot toward left. Wind's going to push this. Moving over to his left to make the catch is Luke Meyer. So 2 batters and 2 flyouts to the center fielder and now the left fielder. Nice play. Nobody on and 2 outs for Sacred Heart. comes a big right-handed hitter, the third baseman Dalton Dooley. He'd like to get one elevated in that heavy wind blowing out. And that one goes behind Dooley there. And Hillman quickly jumps back on the rubber and looks to go to work. Try to improve on that effort. There's a high chopper to third. This is going to be an artificial turf hit. No chance for Wellsville to get Dalton Dooley on that one. They not only play the artificial turf that you'd normally see, but it's turf not only in the grass but also on the dirt, something you don't always see, at least in this area. Maybe teams moving toward that. It is a dirt mound, though, as there's a chopper right back to the pitcher. Good job by Hillman to come up with it. And he throws out Blake Jones to retire Sacred Heart in their first at bat. We've played one. Wellsville leads 1-0.
Hey, great party.
Oh, thanks. Here you go. One hamburger, medium well.
This is well done.
No. That's medium well.
What? Are you calling me a liar? This thing is practically burned.
That's it. You're not going to come to my house and tell me how to cook a hamburger.
You wouldn't do it there.
That'd be crazy.
So don't do it here. Sportsmanship. It's up to you.
Wellsville going to come back to bat here in the second inning. They have a 1-0 lead. Both teams with one hit in the first, but the Eagles, the only team able to play to run. And Luke Meyer, the left fielder, to lead off, and he leads off coming out of the box swinging. As he makes a big rip, no contact on the first offering from Blake Jones. Lefty versus lefty matchup. Jones off-speed pitch hits Luke Meyer, and Meyer going to trot down to first. If you're going to get hit with a pitch, may as well get hit with a slow curve. And that will put Meyer down at first base with nobody out. Here's Mitchell Huffman, the catcher, batting from the right side. Good lead by Meyer over there at first, and he'll draw a throw. The loser of this game is going to have to get the tough task of playing right after this at 3 o'clock in the third place game. Squaring around a bunt was Huffman. And on top of that, you're going to play for third place a team that just suffered their first loss of the year. That would be the Cubs of Humboldt High School. The winner, though, would get a little bit of a break, come back at 5:30 to play for all the marbles. Offering at that one and missing on the bunt was Huffman. A ball and a strike. Have to think that Huffman may take another shot at getting this bunt down and moving a runner into scoring position. Nope, gonna swing away and takes a ball. Options here for Wellsville. Mentioned yesterday in their win last evening over Thomas More Prep, a 9-7 win. They scored 6 runs in the first inning. They didn't score 6 today, but they did plate 1. Line drive towards short. Nice play to flip to second for 1. They get the force out there. Have to credit Travis Wassinger, the shortstop, making a nice play. Got a true hop as you would expect on this turf, and one big out with a runner now still at first base. Cameron Lyon, the designated hitter, will bat, and now it looks like we're going to get a courtesy runner in over there at first base for Wellsville. There you see the courtesy runner leading off. See if we can't get that. I believe it's Brett Osborne, a freshman, who's in there. Is pitch taken for a ball. Cameron Lyon. A 1-0 count as Jones set and comes home. And chopper at the plate, foul. Move the count to 1 ball and 1 strike. Indeed, it is Brett Osborne, a freshman wearing number 18, doing the courtesy running over at first base. Blake Jones comes home. There goes the runner, Osborne. Pitch is in for a strike. Throw down to second is late, and Osborne has a stolen base. Shows right there, even though you're not in the starting lineup, you need to be ready to have your number called, and you can come in and make a good thing happen, and that's exactly what Osborne does for the Eagles. He's in scoring position now. From the looks of the speed he displayed right there, a hit would probably score him. There's a little flare toward third, picking it up, throwing to first, and safe. Cameron Lyon legs it out, an infield single for him. Osborne up to third, and it's going to be runners at the corners with just 1 out, and the number 9 hitter, Jacob Brown, to bat. It was a bang-bang play over at first, but these are state caliber umpires out there, and they got it right, no doubt about it. And it's going to be a tough play over there at third for Dooley, and did everything he could to make it, but by a fraction, Lyon able to reach on an infield hit. He will draw a throw over to first. You will not see dirty uniforms this weekend. Mentioned the artificial turf in the dirt area where you normally have it, so you have to figure moms would be happy with this. No dirty uniforms at all. The pitch misses. 1 ball, no strikes. Wellsville would like to add to this 1-0 lead here in the early going. Chopper towards second, might get a run home if they can stay away from the double play, and they just do stay away from the double play, and a run scores. Good turn there by Sacred Heart, but Brown able to just leg it out. He grounds into a fielder's choice, but does pick up an RBI. And that will take us back to the top of the order. And Wellsville has extended the lead out to 2-0. There's a chopper up the middle, and that's gonna get on through there and into center field. Gonna be a base hit for Shane Hillman. He's 1 for 2 today. Here's Seamus Carney, the right fielder, who walked. And ended up scoring in the first inning. Carney, the left-handed batter. There's 2 outs here in the top of the second. There's a good curveball in for a strike from Blake Jones. Couple runners out there now for Wellsville. Jones home. There's a shot up the middle. That's a base hit. Center fielder Kufler up with it. Throw to the plate. Cut off. Run scores. Safe at third. And Wellsville leads it now 3-0. Seamus Carney, RBI hit. And Wellsville off to a good start here from Manhattan. Cole Gardner, the shortstop, who reached on an error back in the first inning. Wound up scoring. He bats with runners at the corners, still 2 outs, but now 2 more runs plated in the second inning. That pitch a bit high. 1-0 the count. Similar to what we saw in our first semifinal earlier. Frontenac jumped out early, and they ended up never looking back. There's a foul ball back over the press box. Ball and a strike. Sacred Heart from Salina. Pitch is in there for a strike, and that's probably not going to make Wellsville happy, as Gardner went in to call timeout, was not granted timeout. Had to jump back in the box late to try to get back in his position, in his stance, and the umpire called it a strike. Here's another ball fouled off. Boy, they're keeping the crowd in front of us on their toes. At least Gardner is, as he sprayed a couple foul balls right back our way. It's a 1-ball, 2-strike count. The pitch. This one should reach the crowd. Well, maybe not. It's actually going to bounce on the field of play. The wind blowing from the south. That was a perfect example of how the wind's moving balls, because it kept the ball on the field, whereas as soon as it left the bat, it looked like it'd be good 20, 25 feet off the playing surface. Count holds it 1-ball, 2 strikes. Blake Jones in a good battle here with Cole Gardner, with runners at first and third. The pitch. There's a chopper toward third. This will be a tough play, and actually they're going to call a foul ball. Foul ball off a home plate. And the count will stay at 1-2 strikes. Well, that was probably a break for Sacred Heart, because I don't know if Dalton Dooley, the third baseman, is able to make that play. It was a high chopper down in his direction. Regardless, though, Jones has a battle here. This is a good hitter, Cole Gardner. Pitch stays high, so Gardner going to make Blake Jones work a little bit more here in the second inning. Wellsville has to be pleased regardless of this at-bat, the start that they've had. There's another one sprayed off the right side, and will go foul. Good battle here between Jones and Gardner. Jones comes home, gets away from the catcher. Here comes a runner home. Scoring for Wellsville was Shane Hillman. Plates the 4th run of the early going, and boy, these Eagles are flying high right now. Runner moves up another 90 feet down to second base. That's Seamus Carney, who singled to center a little bit earlier. So an opportunity for Gardner to knock another man home. Gardner going to call for time. He's granted it this time with a full count, so Carney will be running with this pitch. Ball 4. So the inning going to extend, and a great at bat for Cole Gardner. This inning started with Luke Meyer, the number 6 hitter. He was hit by a pitch. Now they're all the way down to through the lineup nearly. Shane Picorni will bat. He's the number 4 hitter, so this is the 8th man to bat this inning. And Sacred Heart head coach Brad Dix is out at the mound, and he has his whole infield and going to try to find a way to get the 3rd out here in the 2nd. Pretty long discussion. He's going to keep his pitcher Blake Jones in there. Runners at 1st and 2nd. As I mentioned, 2 outs. 4 runs, 4 hits early on for the Eagles of Wellsville. Jones is ready. Comes home. Big swing there by Picorni. Ball is foul. It's a hot, muggy afternoon, so these pitchers are kind of fatigued after a while. And he's been out there and thrown a lot of pitches here in the 1st inning and 2/3. Love to finish 2 complete here. He is ahead in the count big time at no balls, 2 strikes. You see him there looking in. This one stays high and wide. Picorni already has an RBI single to his credit here in the early going. He singled, drove in a run in the 1st. This one in the dirt gets away, and it will go back to the screen, so both runners advance another 90 feet, and they're at 2nd and 3rd. Picorni with another hit will have 3 RBIs in the early going. Deuces are wild on the scoreboard with 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 out. And we're in the 2nd. Ground ball too short. Wassinger up with it. Throw across. They get Picorni. Not before Wellsville has a good round. They score 3 runs. They add to their lead at 4-0 as we head to the bottom of the 2nd here in this Class 3A state semifinal.
Boom! Hey, where are you going? Can't get by me. I'm number 1 in this class. I rule this lab. I'm number 1. Hey, I don't think so. Yes! Winner! I am a king! Woo!
You wouldn't do it there. So don't do it here. Sportsmanship. It's up to you.
What?
Jerk.
Salina-Sacred for tonight will be number 18, the first baseman, Diamond Bassett, Travis Washington in the dead, Matt Cooper in the hole.
Back here in Manhattan in the Class 3A Kansas State semifinals. Tointon Family Stadium, beautiful complex here on the campus of Kansas State University, and we've seen some great baseball thus far, and we move into the bottom of the second inning here, and Salina-Sacred Heart, the Knights, they need to get the bats going a little bit here. Now down 4-0. Sacred Heart was able to muster a hit in the first inning, but stranded him, and gonna try to get things going here in the second. There's a chopper towards short. Gardner up with it, throws across, and one up, one down here in the home half of the second inning. Dylan Bassett grounds out to the shortstop, and we'll see Travis Wassinger, the shortstop, bat from the left side. Wassinger, the number 6 hitter for the Knights. Shane Hillman back out there, and Hillman off to a pretty good start. He's been around home plate. The Knights have put the ball in play, but the defense for Wellsville has been Mr. Hillman's friend thus far. Foul ball off to the left side, late on that one. Matt Kufler, the center fielder, waits on deck. Count moves to 2-2 to Travis Wassinger. Infield and outfield pretty much straight up for the left-handed batter, and now the count moves full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Little bit low, ball 4. So the first free pass given up by Shane Hillman. And Sacred Heart will have a runner at first with 1 out. And here is Matt Kufler. Righty versus righty here is there's a shot towards center field. That's a base hit. Coming up to play it on a hop is Nolan Rush. He'll hold Wassinger at second base, so Sacred Heart with their first threat going here in the second inning. Damon Gormley, the right fielder. Couple of runners out there for him to try to knock in. Hillman misses a little high. You know Wellsville would love a ball on the ground to one of the middle infielders. Maybe pick up a double play. Ball's popped up. Wynn gonna push it back, and pushed it back into the field of play. Once again, we were just talking about it just a little bit earlier on, how that strong wind from the south, any ball popped up off of the right side that may look like it's going to reach the seats, catcher and those infielders need to be ready for it to push back. That's exactly what happened right there. Shot toward first, catch made, double play. What a play by Jacob Brown to not only make the catch but then dive and get Kufler doubled off of first. Huge play for Wellsville, and they turn away the Knights as Sacred Heart able to get a hit but leave a runner stranded. We've played 2. It's Wellsville 4 and Sacred Heart nothing.
Hey kids, this is Heavy D, Lord J. This one for all the refs out there.
The referee is there to keep things fair.
He's there to make the call. You may not like them all,
but when you're in the stands or even on the court,
remember, be a good sport.
As we move to the third, looks like some of the students from Salina-Sacred Heart taking in the action near the dugout. They haven't had a ton to cheer about here through the first 2 innings. It's Wellsville up, and there's a grounder to short. Throw from Wassinger in time, and Nolan Rush retired short to first. So 1 pitch, 1 out, and here comes Luke Meyer. He's the guy that started the big second inning, the 3-run second inning. He was hit by a pitch. And the lefty versus lefty matchup as Blake Jones comes home. Missed a little bit inside. Ball and no strikes. That one stays out. Jones has fallen behind 2-0. Mentioned Wellsville coming into the weekend the number 7 seed out of 8. Big win last night and trying to keep it going here in this semifinal. As that foul ball, if it would have been a little bit lower, would have been right in my lap. 2-1 count now. Meyer pulls it foul, right side. Count goes from 2-0 to 2-2. Wellsville, they play in the Pioneer League. Had a big season in the Pioneer. They did, though, come to Manhattan with 6 losses on the year, but it's a new slate this weekend as nice line drive shot into center field by Meyer. He's now 1 for 1 officially after being hit by the pitch. Gets some revenge on Jones as he hits a nice line drive to the outfield, and he's on at first with 1 out. Here's Mitchell Huffman. Foul tip held on by the catcher. Huffman grounded into a fielder's choice in the second inning. Meyer gets a pretty good lead away from first. Jones deals and he misses. Ball and a strike. Jones. Line drive to third. Great catch down there by Dalton Dooley. Staying active at the hot corner, Mr. Dooley, and 2 outs now. Cameron Lyon, 1 for 1, the DH. Picked up a high chopping infield single in the second inning. Pitch inside from Jones. Boy, I guess the scouting report on Wellsville would be try to keep them off the scoreboard early. If Wellsville would go on to win this one, that'd definitely be the report. Is Wellsville has put up big numbers, crooked numbers in the early innings. They will be denied here, though, as Lyon grounds out to first, and we have played 2.5 here from Manhattan. It is Wellsville 4, Sacred Heart nothing. Back after this. We move to the bottom of the third inning. Wellsville leading at 4-0. The Knights from Salina-Sacred Heart need to get the bats going a little bit here. Still early on, but it'll be the blink of an eye. We'll be into the middle innings, and we only play 7. That may be a good start for Sacred Heart right here. Yeah, as the pitch is going to hit Nick Wuth now, and he'll trot on down to first base. And that will also get Sacred Heart back to the top of the order. So they'll send Daniel O'Brien, Kyler Stover, and Dalton Dooley up as the next 3 hitters. They were looking over Wuth now down there at first, as I don't know if he took that pitch in the ankle. It's definitely in the lower leg, and looks like he's going to be all right, and he gets a lead off, a good lead down there at first. Big rip, no contact by Daniel O'Brien, who flied out to center field to lead off the Knights' first inning. That one stays a little wide, evening the count up at a ball and a strike. O'Brien looking down at his skipper, third base getting signs. And that pitch in there for a strike, the fastball. Shane Hillman, the Wellsville pitcher, he has been around home plate for the most part. He does have a walk, and he did hit Wuth now a little bit earlier on, just a moment ago. No strikeouts yet for Hillman. There's a fly ball to center field. Nolan Rush going to come in. He's going to compensate for the wind. Not going to let him be fooled twice, and O'Brien retired on the fly out to center field. So O'Brien flies out in his first 2 at-bats to the center fielder Rush. Throw over to first, runner back easily. Kyler Stover, who flew out to left field in the first inning, will bat. And field at double play depth. The pitch right in there for a strike. Again, the winner gets Frontenac in the championship game later this evening. A 5:30 scheduled first pitch here from Manhattan. Reaching for it and fouling it off the right side there was Stover. He is buried in the count here, 0-2. From what we've seen thus far from pitcher Shane Hillman, doesn't look like a guy that's going to rack up a ton of strikeouts. He's going to pitch to contact. And there's contact right there. The chopper back to Hillman. His throw, and a great job of digging that one out of there. That was the shortstop Cole Gardner, who is a slick fielding shortstop for Wellsville. And Stover grounds into a fielder's choice, and there's 2 away here in the third inning. Dalton Dooley, who reached on an infield hit in the first inning, will bat with a runner at first, and now 2 away. Quick snap throw over to first, and forced to dive back was Wuth now. He'll get another quick lead over there. Pitch not close from Hillman. Hillman trying to retire these Knights in the third inning. I don't know if that chopper may have caught Dooley on the bounce near home plate. Regardless, it's a strike and a 2-1 count. There goes the runner at first, and the pitch going to get away from the catcher. And advancing safely is Wuth now. And he's now in scoring position down there at second. Dalton Dooley an opportunity with a hit to drive home a run. Sometimes just getting that first run can be huge. Open the floodgates a little bit. It's gonna give Sacred Heart another base runner at least, as it's ball 4 to Dalton Dooley. And Blake Jones an opportunity to help himself out, the Sacred Heart pitcher. He's the cleanup hitter. He bats from the left side. Righty versus lefty matchup with the runners at first and second now. And that pitch right in there from Shane Hillman. Jumps ahead in the count 0-1. Jones grounded back to Hillman to end the first inning. And there's another pitch catching the outside corner. Hillman, 2 quick strikes, trying to squirm his way out of this third inning. There's a foul ball right back into the screen. Jones hanging in there, 0-2. Runners take their lead away from first and second. Pitch inside. Maybe a waste pitch there from Hillman. Still way ahead in the count now, ball and 2 strikes. Ground ball towards second base. Fielding that one cleanly, Smith. And flips to his shortstop partner, Gardner, and Sacred Heart turned away in the third. We've played 3, Wellsville 4, and Sacred Heart nothing.
Thank you. Can I help you today?
No thanks. I'm just looking. Oh, this is cute. So?
You wouldn't do it there. So don't do it here. Sportsmanship. It's up to you.
Like they're the fashion police. I got it. I love you, Jacob. Oh, you don't even have it. Tyler, you're terrible. Stop. Come on, JB.
3 innings have been completed here in Manhattan, and it's Wellsville on top 4-0. They will bat here in the top of the 4th inning. They'll go Jacob Brown, the number 9 hitter, and then right back to the top of the order with Shane Hillman and Seamus Carney. Back out there is Blake Jones, the southpaw. He's expended a lot of pitches here in just the first 3 innings here this afternoon, and a hot one at that. We'll see how long he can go in this semifinal. He needs to try to keep these Eagles at bay right now. His first 2 pitches are out of the strike zone. Make that 3. Jacob Brown, the number 9 hitter, probably gonna be told to take a pitch here, one would guess. Make Jones find the strike zone at least once, which he does not. A 4-pitch walk. So Brown will trot down to first, and here come the Eagles looking to swing the bats, and now all of a sudden here comes Sacred Heart head coach Brad Dix to the mound, and he's going to take the ball from Mr. Jones and going to make a pitching change right here. So Jones going to go just 3 innings, and Coach Dix going to bring in a new hurler. And it looks like it's going to be Dalton Dooley that will take over. So Dalton Dooley, who started the game at third base, will come in and take over on the mound. And we'll try to see some of the other changes. It looks like Blake Jones, who was pitching, is now going to head to the outfield and take up one of those spots. And just from the first few warm-up pitches from Dooley, he's going to bring a little more velocity to the table. So 4-0 as the leadoff walk issued by Jones was the final straw, as Sacred Heart just really cannot afford to give up many more runs, down 4-0. And for Wellsville, it appears that Hillman is rolling pretty good right now on the mound. Not dominating stuff, but he's throwing strikes. He's going to make Sacred Heart earn it if they want to try to get into the championship game coming up later today. If you missed it a little bit earlier on, it was Frontenac with a 5-1 win over Humboldt. So they've stamped their place into the championship game at 5:30. I saw some of the Frontenac players with a couple boxes of pizza a little bit earlier on, enjoying some lunch. They get a big advantage. I mean, they come out and play the early 10 o'clock game and now have a break until 5:30. And from talking to the Frontenac home broadcaster, they have their ace in the hole ready to pitch and rested up. And they're batting for Wellsville is Shane Hillman, the pitcher, the leadoff hitter. Gonna take his swings at Dalton Dooley, the new pitcher. Curveball stays high. Moves the count to 2-1. Third place game scheduled for 3 o'clock here from Tointon Family Stadium in Manhattan. Squaring around, trying to get a bunt down, and it goes foul. The pitch from Dooley way too high for Hillman to do much with, as far as at least getting it down on a successful bunt. And now with a 2-2 count, Hillman will swing away. Getting encouragement from Phil Pearson, the head coach down at third, doing the coaching duties. Infield would love to see a double play rolled into. There's a swing and a miss. So Shane Hillman down on strikes. It's the first time this afternoon that a Wellsville hitter has gone down on strikes. And here's Seamus Carney batting with Brown, who led off the inning with a walk. He's down at first with 1 out. Ooh, there's a hard one right in there for a strike. Maybe Dalton Dooley is just what the doctor ordered to keep this Wellsville lineup at bay. That curveball didn't miss by a lot. Righty versus lefty matchup. Swinging late, fouling it off the left side and out of play. might take Wellsville just a bit to adjust to the hard-throwing Dalton Dooley. Off speed, swing and a miss, and Seamus Carney is out. So back-to-back strikeouts now by Dooley. It's very interesting, these state tournament weekends, whether you're playing an 8-team tournament or just a Final Four like some states, figuring out when to use your strongest pitchers, with the winning team needing to play upwards of 21 innings or more if you play extra innings. I mean, this is a perfect example, I guess, right now, is got a kid like Dooley in there. As I say that, there's a line drive into center field. Cole Gardner picks up his first hit of the afternoon. But at least from the sign of Dooley registering back-to-back strikeouts, you would think that he would be one of their better pitchers, but you find yourself down 4-0. So now you're hoping your offense can get you back in this game if you're Sacred Heart. Wellsville with a threat going here with first and second, 2 out. This one gets past the catcher Richards. Fortunate for Sacred Heart, no advancement. Could have easily moved both runners up 90 feet. First things first for Sacred Heart, they need Dalton Dooley to get them out of this. There's a good-looking pitch, catching the outside corner. Fastball, ball and a strike. The 1-1. Swinging and fouling that one straight back on a line. Dooley is way ahead here. Another 2-strike count. Shane Picorni. Curveball, little bit inside. Shane did a good job of hanging in there, and a good eye shown by him. Already has an RBI single to center this afternoon. A 2-ball, 2-strike count. Chopped at the plate. I think Picorni chopped it off of his leg, and count holds 2-2. Well, you have to credit the home plate umpire and the catcher on a day like this. It's a muggy, hot, 90-plus degree day. I'm sure heat index down on the field on that turf around 100. There's a pitch. This time the runners will move up 90 feet as it gets away from Richards. And the count going to move up to a 3-2 count. Boy, Picorni could put a big hole in this one with a hit. It'd score 2 if he could get one into the outfield. Big rip as he fouls that one back. Shane Picorni is not intimidated whatsoever at the velocity of Dalton Dooley. He is in there and he is on it. The full count pitch. This one popped up. This one will stay in play. It's going to be a tough play for the right fielder, but getting under it is Damon Gormley, the right fielder, and he's able to make the catch and hold these Eagles at bay. 3.5 completed from Manhattan. 4-0, Wellsville the lead.
Hey, great party.
Oh, thanks. Here you go. 1 hamburger, medium well.
This is well done.
No. That's medium well.
What? Are you calling me a liar? This thing is practically burned.
That's it. You're not going to come to my house and tell me how to cook a hamburger.
You wouldn't do it there.
That'd be crazy.
So don't do it here. Sportsmanship. It's up to you.
Bottom of the fourth inning. Sacred Heart going to send up the 5, 6, 7 hitters. Bassett, Wassinger, and Kufler. Dylan Bassett, the first baseman, will get his first crack at Shane Hillman, who has been efficient on the mound this afternoon for Wellsville. Little looper toward right. Moving in to make the catch is Seamus Carney. 1 pitch, 1 out. I just mentioned efficient, and Hillman continues to get the job done. Travis Wassinger, the shortstop who walked in the second inning, will bat from the left side. Mentioned in the early innings that Hillman seemed to pitch to contact, and that's what he has done. And how about this? 2 pitches, 2 outs for Shane Hillman. He's making it look easy right now. Matt Kufler, 1 for 1. He has 1 of the 2 Knights hits so far today. We play 7 here in Kansas baseball, and Sacred Heart from Salina, they have been kept very silent thus far. Pitch stays out. 2-0 the count. Kufler trying to start a 2-out rally here. (3-1) now as Hillman off the mark, missing wide. Thing you have to really like about Hillman is just how quickly he works. I mean, he's going to keep his defense in the game at all times. Not a lot of piddling around out there near the mound. He gets the ball, and he's right back up on the rubber ready to go. And he has a full count here. Pitch to Kufler, a little bit inside. Matt Kufler draws a 2-out base on balls. Damon Gormley will bat. Damon hit the ball hard in the second inning, but he hit it right at a man and lined into a double play. Gormley gonna hope for better luck here. Now Hillman out of the zone a little bit more here in the last handful of pitches as he looks in for a sign and gets it. Deals. There's a line drive. That's going to fall in for a hit. Running from first to third now is Kufler. And the ball nearly gets away from the third baseman, but runners are going to hold at the corners. So now Sacred Heart getting something going here with 2 outs. They had nobody on and 2 outs just a moment ago. So indeed, Gormley hits into better luck. And Nick Wuthnow bats with an opportunity to drive a run in. Let's see how Hillman pitches under some pressure now. It's been pretty easy for him thus far. The 1-0. So now 2-0. Good hitters count for Wuthnow. Runner goes from first. Throw down to second. They just want to make sure that the runner at third does not make a break for home. So they will allow Gormley to move down to scoring position at second base. And 2 runners out there for Wuth now to drive in. Oh, this pitch nearly hits Wuth now, but it's ball 4. So second walk of the inning, and now it's getting really interesting as the bases are loaded for the leadoff hitter and a good hitter in Daniel O'Brien. He's 0 for 2, a couple of flyouts. There's a strike. That was a big strike thrown by Hillman. He needed to get one across after a first pitch ball. The 1-1. That one stays out. 2-1 the count. Can Shane Hillman get out of this big time jam? Missed. 3 balls and 1 strike, and you see some little bit of frustration by Hillman. He kind of looked over at his dugout after that last pitch was called a ball. There's a swing and a foul ball off of O'Brien. So the count goes full. What a big pitch, about to be uncorked with the runners moving here. Full count, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. This one popped. Gonna go foul and out of play. We'll do the 3-0, or actually the 3-2 all over again, as the runners will have to retreat. They were indeed moving with the 3-2 pitch. Good battle going on. This is a big battle right now. Sacred Heart a chance to tighten this one up, and they do. It's gonna be a walk taken by O'Brien and an RBI. So O'Brien wins the battle, and now here comes Phil Pearson, the head coach of Wellsville, coming out to the mound. And this is not one of those meetings where they bring all of the infielders around to give a pep talk. This is Coach Pearson and his pitcher. It's interesting, the catcher, Huffman, he isn't even in the conversation. It's coach and pitcher trying to get things squared away and trying to get these Eagles from Wellsville out of this 4th inning with just 1 run, minimize the damage, and take a 3-run lead into the 5th. But first things first, a tough hitter to contend with, Kyler Stover. And there's a pitch that gets away. Throw at the plate and out. Great job by Shane Hillman to cover. Great job by Mitchell Huffman to get back and get that ball and throw out the would-be second run by Sacred Heart. And indeed, Wellsville minimizes the damage the hard way as we take another look before we go to break. A pretty generous bounce, but again, a great job by Huffman to get back there and get the ball to his pitcher for the 3rd out. And the 4th inning comes to an end with Sacred Heart only plating 1 run. We'll move to the 5th.
Hey, where are you going? Can't get by me. I'm #1 in this class. I rule this lab. I'm #1. Hey, I don't think so. Yes! Winner! I am the king! Woo!
You wouldn't do it there. So don't do it here. Sportsmanship. It's up to you.
What?
Jerk.
Back here from Manhattan on the campus of Kansas State University. Wellsville with the 4-1 lead. They will bat here in the top of the 5th. I cannot tell you how big of a play that was at home plate just a few moments ago. The hustle by Huffman to get back to the screen and get it to his pitcher for the tag out and hold Sacred Heart with just 1 run. If that play is not made, it's 4-2 with a couple more runners in scoring position with a good batter at the dish. Who knows what the inning may have held, but instead it's a 4-1 lead for the Eagles, and they're back here at the plate. And another look at what we just saw a moment ago. Good play all the way around. Bang, bang play at home, and they get the out. And for Wellsville, they will send to the plate their numbers 5, 6, and 7 hitters here in the top of the 5th. Nolan Rush, Luke Meyer, and Mitchell Huffman. Rush is ahead in the count 3-1, and he takes a leadoff walk. So Dalton Dooley getting off to a great start in the last inning, coming in out of relief, but not a good start here as he walks the leadoff hitter. The last thing Sacred Heart would like is to give up a couple of runs after they were able to finally get on the scoreboard in the bottom of the 4th. Luke Meyer batting from the left side. There goes the runner. Pitches in for a strike. Throw down to second is late. Sliding in safely is Nolan Rush. So now he's in scoring position all of a sudden. And probably some options for Wellsville. Do you look to try to manufacture a run and get Rush over to third with a bunt? Or do you let Meyer swing away? Meyer already has a hit. Line drive to second. They're going to throw Meyer out. Stover able to knock it down. So the key piece to that sequence was that Rush was not able to move up to third base, as he had to wait and see if Stover was able to make that catch, which you would have expected him to probably make that catch. It popped out of his glove, but as hard as it was hit, Stover still with plenty of time to throw out Meyer. Huffman down the line, fair, and this is going to score a run for Wellsville as Mitchell Huffman going to cruise into second base with a big RBI double. Just inside the line, and as I mentioned, Wellsville does a great job to counter that run that Sacred Heart scored just this past inning. So give Huffman his first RBI of the afternoon, and it's a 5-1 Wellsville lead. Here's the number 8 hitter, Cameron Lyon, the designated hitter. Good swing right back to the screen. One for 2 today for Lyon. Infield single in the second. He grounded out to first to end the 3rd inning. Dooley comes home. Just misses the inside corner with the fastball. Much different inning for pitcher Dalton Dooley. Dooley looked almost unhittable in the last inning, and it's just amazing the body language difference from Dooley here in the 5th inning compared to the 4th. Lyon can't catch up with that fastball. Count levels at 2-2. Brett Osborne is pinch running now down at second base for Huffman, the catcher. There's a swing and a foul ball right side. This one will indeed reach the seats. We'll do the 2-2 count all over again here in a moment as soon as they track the ball down over there in the near the right field line. Great facility to be hosting these Class 3A baseball championships this weekend here at the Kansas State University in Manhattan. State championships taking place all around the state. You know, the Manhattan high school baseball team, my understanding, competing in the championships of the big class in Lawrence today. Pitch low. Good job by the catcher, Richards, to keep it in front of him, then throws down to second and throws it away. Osborne going to move up another 90 feet to third. Those are just huge plays that won't necessarily show up in the highlights, but can make a difference between winning and losing, as now Lyon an opportunity to drive home another run. The Knights need to get out of this, but they only have one out. There's a chopper toward the right side, and that will get the run home. How about that? Dylan Bassett tags first for the second out, but it scores Osborne. Give Cameron Lyon a asterisk on that one as he chops one to the right side and picks up a ribby. Bases are clear, but damage done. 2 runs plated by the Eagles here in the 5th inning. The number 9 hitter, Jacob Brown, will bat. Wellsville has increased their lead. It is now a 6-1 game. That is not what Salina-Sacred Heart had in mind here after that run was plated by them in the bottom of the 4th. That one just missed. We've seen some good umpiring today. In our first game this morning, and here this afternoon in game number 2. Strike zones may, oh, that's a ball that's gonna hit Brown. He's gonna trot on down to first base. Looks like he's gonna be all right. Here comes Shane Hillman, the pitcher, who's gonna come on into the dish and bat with a runner now at first base and 2 outs. Hillman is 1 for 3 today, already seeing his 4th at bat, and we're just in the 5th. Hillman grounded to second to lead off the game and then singled to center, scored a run in the 2nd, and struck out in his last at bat. That was last inning. Hillman has to be real pleased that his team has plated him 2 more runs. Whole different inning for Dalton Dooley, the pitcher for Sacred Heart. Ball foul back. We'll see if Dooley can put away his counterpart here. It's no balls, 2 strikes. Not going to do it there as Hillman lays off. The 1-2 offering. coming home. Popped off the right side. Wind going to hold it up, and this one will reach the seats. You could tell the second baseman, Stover, and the right fielder, Gormley, they're well aware now of what that wind can do, as they were both hoofing it to that one, and this time, though, it does reach the seats. We'll do the 1-2 again. This one bounced in front of the plate by a foot or two, and even her up at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hillman trying to extend the inning while Dooley tries to get his team to the dugout. Hillman, good at bat by him, making Dooley work. It was 0-2 just a moment ago, and now we're going 3-2. Hillman chops it at the plate, staying alive. What you would expect from a leadoff hitter. Hillman, he's waiting patiently in there. Dooley maybe gonna focus on the hitter this time. Comes home to Hillman. Shot down the third baseline, and it's fair. We'll see if this can score another runner. They're gonna wave him home. Throw to the plate. Now they're not even gonna make a throw to the plate. Another run is in as Jacob Brown crosses home plate, and Shane Hillman has an RBI 2-bagger. That's gonna be his second hit of the day. First RBI to go with the run scored earlier. And it's now a 7-1 Wellsville lead. And that now will bring up Seamus Carney to the plate, and looks like Wellsville also going to get in a courtesy runner. Shelton Brighthop, a sophomore, going to come in and run for Hillman, who more than did his job right there. What a great at-bat. You don't have better at-bats than what we just saw from Hillman. Down 0-2, worked it back to 3-2, fought off a couple more pitches, and then laced a ringing double down the left field line to score another. There's a pitch in there as Carney bats. He's 1 for 2 officially. He has an RBI single. He walked, struck out. Gonna run the whole gamut here. Chopper back to the pitcher. Dooley fields and flips on over to first to retire Wellsville, but not before they stick another 3 spot on the scoreboard. And they are well in control as Wellsville leads Sacred Heart 7-1 as we move to the bottom of the 5th.
Hey kids, this is Heavy D, Lil J. This one for all the refs out there.
The referee is there to keep things fair.
There to make the call, you may not like them all.
But when you're in the stands or even on the court,
Remember, be a good sport.
Boy, a big inning, at least the top half for Wellsville, as they saw the Knights of Sacred Heart plate one in the bottom of the fourth, and then Wellsville, they answer right back with 3 of their own to make it now 7-1 as we move into the bottom of the 5th inning. In there for Sacred Heart is Kyler Stover. He hits one up the middle, fielded cleanly by the shortstop, and the throw out, Cole Gardner, and he is a slick shortstop for Wellsville. Just watching him in warm-ups, you can tell this kid's something special, and he shows it there. Made that look easy, and Stover is the first out here in the 5th inning. Stover was at the plate in the bottom of the 4th when we had the sequence of the throw out. Well, it looks like going to have another opportunity for Gardner. Close play at first, and it actually gets away from Brown. No advancement. We'll see how they score this one. Might be an error coming up on Gardner, and of course, leave it up to me to give a compliment to a player, and then the next batter ends up being an error on that player, and that's what we may have. Looks like we're going to have another courtesy runner, this time from Sacred Heart, as they will have Clayton Wetter come into the game. And haven't seen it yet. They may actually go ahead and give Dooley an infield hit. Nope, they just flashed a error on the board. So an error on shortstop Cole Gardner. But yeah, that play at home, the throw out that could have made it a 4-2 game and potentially have runners at second and third tying a run in scoring position. Man was gunned down at the plate, and that's a play that if Wellsville goes on to win this game that you go back to and say that was the difference in the game. Is pop up off the left side. This one will reach the grassy knoll off to the left beyond the Sacred Heart dugout, and count be a ball and 2 strikes on Blake Jones. Pitch stays just a bit outside. So Jones going to remain in there with a runner down at first and 1 out. We're going to go to a full count here. You can't count Sacred Heart out just yet. Still a lot of baseball left. But I'm sure there's some urgency over in their dugout right now. This one misses wide. So Blake Jones reaches on a base on ball, so an error and a walk put runners at first and second with just 1 out. Runners going to take their lead away from first and second. There's a pitch high. Shane Hillman needs to find the strike zone very quickly, or he may be finding himself either in the dugout or at another position on the field. This one is a strike. Dylan Bassett, he is 0 for 2 today. Grounded to short, flied out to right. There's a high drive, pretty well hit to left. The wind is going to push it. Going back to make a nice catch is Luke Meyer and gets it back into the infield. And even though that looked like a routine play, that was a tough play by Meyer to fight the wind and kind of a high sky, and records out number 2. Ooh, boy, and that gets by him. That's plating a couple. So Bassett is 0 for 3. And that will bring up Travis Wassinger. And there's a little blooper toward right, and that one's going to fall in for a hit. And this should plate 1. Sliding in safely. And the Knights able to get another runner across as Clayton Wetter, the courtesy runner, slides head first and makes it a 7-2 game. So an RBI single for Travis Wassinger. And he has a couple of hits today. Matt Kufler swinging at the first pitch, popping it back just beyond the net. 1 strike. So it's 7-2 now, Wellsville the lead. And more importantly, a couple runners in scoring position. So if Kufler, who already has a hit today, could deliver again, have ourselves a game. That one slashed off to the right, out of play. The third place game scheduled to start in about an hour. This offering outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kufler a chance to make this interesting again. Stays a little bit low, so the count evens at 2-2. Shane Hillman trying to find a way to get out of this. Sacred Heart making it interesting. That one low, so we're going to go the distance here now. Hillman doesn't seem to be in the rhythm he was in the early stages. That one chopped at the plate off of Kufler. We hold it 3-2. Humboldt awaits the loser of this game in the third place game. Again, scheduled to start just about 3 o'clock. It's the anticipated first pitch. Here's the 3-2. There's a chopper. This is going to be a tough play, and it actually spin foul. Not even close. It's near the Sacred Heart dugout. Nice little battle going on right now between Hillman and Kufler, the number 7 hitter. Hillman works from the wind as he has in this matchup. There's a drive to center, and that is well hit. Turns the center fielder around, but what a job by Nolan Rush. Taking his eye off the ball to retreat, gets back there and makes the catch and gets Wellsville out of a pickle. Out of all that, Sacred Heart only able to plate 1. And Wellsville takes a 7-2 lead with them into the 6th from Manhattan. We'll move to the 6th inning here. Wellsville leading 7-2, but it could have been a lot closer if it hadn't been for Nolan Rush. As we take another look at the play he made out in center field with the wind pushing the ball around. Rush doing a great job to backpedal. He got back there and made a huge play for Wellsville to keep Sacred Heart at bay. And now first pitch swinging here in the 6th inning. Cole Gardner, bang bang play at first, is thrown out by Kyle Stover, and 1 pitch, 1 out. Wellsville will send to the plate Shane Picorni. Picorni laid off that one and took a ball. So 3, 4, and 5 hitters up here in inning number 6. Picorni has a hit and an RBI today. He also grounded out and flew out. There's a fly ball. Center field moving over to his right to make the catch is Kufler. Quickly 2 down here in the visitor half of the 6th inning. Here comes Nolan Rush to bat. Rush is 0 for 2 officially, lined into a double play and grounded out. He also walked and stole a base. He did that to start the 5th inning. It ended up being a big inning for Wellsville as they played at 3. Two and 0 now to Rush. Nobody on, 2 away. An opportunity for Sacred Heart to get out of here in a very efficient, quick inning and get their bats going again. 3 and 0 though to Rush. Dalton Dooley looking in for his pitch that he likes. Here he comes. Walked him on 4 pitches, so Nolan Rush has walked in his last 2 at-bats. That will bring up Luke Meyer. Luke's been active today. Hit by a pitch. He singled the center. He also has grounded out. 1 for 2 officially. The Eagles of Wellsville, they scored 1 in the 1st, 3 in the 2nd, 3 in the 5th. So those 2-3 spots have really been huge for them, while the Salina-Sacred Hearts Knights, they had 3 goose eggs the first 3 innings, scored a run in the 4th, a run in the 5th. There goes a runner down to 2nd, and a stolen base for Nolan Rush. So Luke Meyer, a chance to drive in a run here now. The Knights of Salina-Sacred Heart, they find themselves down to the final 6 outs. They need to score 5 runs or more. They need to get Wellsville out here. That is for certain. That one bounces a couple feet in front of home plate. 1-1. Don't know if it's just for a few moments, but it would seem the wind has died down a little bit right now, blowing from right to left across the field. Oh boy, that one was buried several feet in front of home plate, and advancement by Rush up to 3rd. I don't know what's going on now with Dooley. I don't know if he's just fatigued quickly or what the deal might be, but his last 2 pitches have not even been close to Tate Richards' catcher's mitt. There's a drive to center, pretty well hit, but right at Kufler, who takes a couple of steps to his left and gathers it in, and a 0 put on the board on the Wellsville column in the top of the 6th inning. We'll move to the bottom of the 6th with Wellsville in control, leading 7-2.
Thank you. Can I help you today?
No thanks. I'm just looking. this is cute. So?
You wouldn't do it there. So don't do it here. Sportsmanship. It's up to you.
Like they're the fashion police.
Some of the young fans taking in the action here from Manhattan. I think those two youngsters have had a lot to cheer about from Wellsville. Hoping to see the Eagles close the deal here now. They're within 6 outs of advancing to the state championship game in Kansas Class 3A. Shane Hillman back out there to deal to these Knights. Just missed on his second pitch, a ball and a strike. Sacred Heart will start with the numbers 8 and 9 hitters, and then they'll move back to the top of the order. Late on that one was Damon Gormley, and fouls it past his first base coach. One and two count. Foul ball off the right side. Count a hold at ball and 2 strikes. Gormley, 1 for 2. Has a single to center, and he also lined into a double play. Hit the ball hard. He's hit the ball hard twice today. 2-2 the count. Little chopper near the plate. This one going to go foul. It's really remarkable. Hillman, who's now dealing into the 6th inning, yet to record a strikeout today. There's a smack toward right center, and that one's going to fall in for a hit. Rush over there to pick it up and get it back to the infield. A solid hit for Damon Gorley, his 2nd hit of the day. So Nick Wuthnow will bat. He's looking at 3rd, but I'm thinking down 5. Sacrifice bunt, probably not what you're looking for. I don't think you're in a position to give up too many outs when you're only down to 6. Pitch high and wide. I've been wrong before, though, and as much as he's looking down at his 3rd base coach, Brad Dix, you wonder. Maybe coach is giving him the sign just to take and draw a walk. He's halfway home. He's ahead 2-0. You wonder how much longer Wellsville will go with Shane Hillman if this continues. Have to think Hillman has to be tiring quite a bit now. Hot, muggy day. We're into the 6th, and now he misses again. So 3-0. You have to think Wuthnow is definitely taking here. A chance for Sacred Heart to get a couple runners on. That's a strike. That's ball 4. So a single and a walk puts runners on first and second, and now indeed, here comes Phil Pearson. Gonna go to the mound, and he's gonna call for all of his infielders to come together, and you wonder if this is decision time or if he's just gonna talk some strategy here with his crew. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Wellsville leads 7-2. They are trying to hang on to advance to face Frontenac in this evening's championship game at 5:30. Salina-Sacred Heart going to try to say something about that. And the inning off to a good start for Sacred Heart with their first 2 batters reaching, and not only that, but their numbers 8 and 9 batters reaching. And it looks like Wellsville is going to make a pitching change right here, and they're going to try to shut the door on this thing. And Coach Pearson is going to call for Shane Picorni, it would appear. So Shane Picorni will replace Shane Hillman. Picorni started the game at third base, and they are going to rely on him heavily to close out the game's last 6 outs. I'm sure in a perfect world, Phil Pearson had hoped that Shane Hillman could stay on a roll and get him at least through the 6th inning, if not close the game. But instead, he makes the pitching change here, and he really had to with the first 2 Sacred Heart batters reaching base. Again, third place game scheduled to start around 3, championship about 5:30. Shane Picorni saw action yesterday in their round of 8 matchup, their win over Thomas More Prep. It was a hard-fought win, a 9-7 Wellsville victory. The stakes just get a little bit higher here in the state semifinals. There's a chopper toward first, going to be fair. Stepping on the bag there was Brown. Not able to get the man down at second. They do get the force, though, at first. That's a big out. The inning's first out as we take another look. So fielder's choice for Daniel O'Brien. Looked like maybe Gardner kept the tag on, thinking that the runner slid past the bag. It didn't happen. And now Kyler Stover. This is a big batter here for Sacred Heart. If Stover could get a hit, all of a sudden it's a 3-run game. It's a 1-1 count. Runners at second and third. Sacred Heart trying to make this interesting. Stover 0 for 2 officially. He has a fielder's choice mixed in there. Flew out to left, grounded to short. And it's a 3-1 count with the number 3 hitter, Dalton Dooley, and then the 4 hitter, Blake Jones, on deck. That chopper is foul. We'll go full here. This is a big hitter right now for Wellsville, trying to minimize the damage, and they probably even give up a run at this point. There's a foul ball and out of play. They are desperately trying to stay away from a big inning here. The 3-2. Line drive center field. Coming up for it is Rush. He makes the catch, and a mental error there by Sacred Heart as runner at third caught off the bag, and he could not get back to tag up. And you can see that he is upset with himself down there at third. Wellsville misses out on a chance. Actually, Sacred Heart, I beg your pardon, has a chance, misses out on a chance to play to run. Now it's going to be up to Dalton Dooley. Dooley does have a hit today, a single, an infield single back in the first inning. First hit of the day for Sacred Heart way back in the first. Little bit inside. 2 balls and a strike. We've talked about the tight strike zone today, but it has been consistent. There's no doubt about it. That one's in there for a strike. So Shane Picorni trying to get out of this. This would be huge for Wellsville. That one chopped off of Dooley. And the count going to hold at 2-2. I'm sure that Picorni would love to get a decision right here. Just misses. We'll go full, though. Here's a big pitch now with Blake Jones, the cleanup hitter, on deck. He walked him. So they are loaded up for Blake Jones. And if Blake would happen to live up to his cleanup hitter spot and drive one in a gap, this thing's going to get real interesting. Haven't talked about the dimensions of this ballpark today. They're pretty deep. It'd be tough for a high schooler to park one. 340 down the line, 375 to the alleys. This one's foul over our head. 400 to straightaway center. So strong wind or not, it would take a bomb to get it out of here. Blake Jones takes a ball. Ball and a strike. Looking in for the sign, Picorni, and deals. Stays a little bit inside. 2 balls and a strike. Wellsville has done a great job prior to this inning getting ahead of hitters and throwing strikes, and not doing it right now. That's another ball and a 3-1 count. Jones may be looking pitch and location right here. If he gets what he likes, he may slash one. I think he may have got his pitch and he missed it. He fouled it off. So we go full. There go the runners. Line drive center field, moving over to his right to make another huge catch is Nolan Rush. He has been huge today, and Wellsville able to hang up a goose egg on Sacred Heart in the bottom of the 6th. We've played 6 innings from Manhattan. It's Wellsville 7, Salina-Sacred Heart 2. Back in a moment here on the KSHSAA network.
Hey, great party.
Oh, thanks. Here you go. 1 hamburger, medium well.
This is well done.
No. That's medium well.
What? Are you calling me a liar? This thing is practically burned.
That's it. You're not going to come to my house and tell me how to cook a hamburger.
You wouldn't do it there.
That'd be crazy.
So don't do it here. Sportsmanship. It's up to you.
To the 7th inning we go. Wellsville going to try to tack on a couple more insurance runs, already leading 7-2. The Eagles send to the plate hitters 7, 8, and 9. It'll start with Mitchell Huffman. Dalton Dooley back out there for Sacred Heart. And his first pitch is high and tight. Huffman picked up an RBI double to left field in the 5th inning. A big 5th that saw Wellsville open this one up. They plated 3 runs. We sit at 7-2. And it's the Eagles just 3 outs away from moving into the state championship game here in just a couple hours. It's a 2-1 count to Huffman. Dalton Dooley's job right now would be to hold these Eagles at bay. Fortunately for him and his Knights teammates, he's down in the count, or behind in the count, 3-1. They do not want to see a leadoff walk here in the 7th. But that's what they're going to get, and that one wasn't even close. And here comes the skip out of the dugout, and that may be the end of Mr. Dooley's day, one would think. As he is worn down a little bit here as he came in relief. And indeed, he will give the ball up, and Sacred Heart going to go with another relief pitcher. Looks like the Knights will go to the pen, and they will bring into the game Travis Wassinger. Wassinger will become the 3rd pitcher of the afternoon for Salina-Sacred Heart. Pretty good job by Dalton Dooley. I mentioned he came in a house of fire, struck out first 2 guys he faced, but then I don't know if he just maybe fatigued. He really wasn't the same after that first inning of relief. And now we see Travis Wassinger into the game for Coach Brad Dix. The Sacred Heart team out of Salina, they play in the North Central Activities Association. They have represented their league well as they've picked up a regional championship and advanced all the way to the state semifinals. But starting to look more and more like it may be Wellsville that moves into the title game. First pitch from Wassinger is in there for a strike. Cameron Lyon, the designated hitter, bats with a runner at first and nobody out. There goes the runner, pitches outside. Throw down to second, pops out of the glove of the second baseman, and that'll be a stolen base for Huffman. I beg your pardon, I think that's a courtesy runner in there for Wellsville. Indeed, Brett Osborne, who has been all over the base paths today. Osborne has a couple stolen bases. He's scored. Been a big contributor for Wellsville off of the bench. That one stays inside. Two-one count on Lyon. This time he's going to square around and bunt. Bunts back to the pitcher, and now they have a guy in a rundown. That's Osborne. See if Sacred Heart can take care of the runner. They do. They get the tag on Osborne, and going to have a runner out at third. So Lyon reaches on a fielder's choice, and he will be on at first with 1 out. And Jacob Brown bats. There's a fly ball to right, and that one's going to get by the right fielder. Gormley retreating. This is going to plate another run. And Jacob Brown going to stand at second base with another RBI. This time his first hit of the day. It's a double. And it's an 8-2 game. He got a pitch he liked, and he knew what to do with it. Nobody home there in the alley. And now Shane Hillman will bat with the runner down at second as a curveball stays in. Travis Wassinger just trying to minimize the damage now. His team down a half a dozen. There's a pop-up left field. Should be an easy play out there for O'Brien. He makes the catch, so 2 away. Looks like Hillman should finish the day 2 for 5 officially. But probably the most notable accomplishment for him today was the work he did early on the mound. He was an innings eater for Wellsville. Seamus Carney, the right fielder, he has a base hit. I believe everybody but one guy in this Wellsville lineup has a hit today. They've spread them around too. 9 hits for the Eagles. Carney would love to get his second hit. So we're gonna reach the seats to the left of us. Maybe the most exciting thing taking place now is when the foul balls come off the roof here at Tointon Family Stadium, and everybody waits to see where the ball is going to drop off of the roof back into the crowd. People seem to get a big charge out of that, which I can't blame them. I wouldn't necessarily want a baseball off the back of my head. It's a 1-2 count on Carney. And there's a fly ball to center field. Should be a can of corn for Kufler, and it is. He makes the catch, side retired. A run of insurance for Wellsville. They plate 1, and they will head to the bottom of the 7th with an 8-2 lead over Salina-Sacred Heart.
Boo! Hey, where are you going? Can't get by me. I'm #1 in this class. I rule this lab. I'm #1. Hey, I don't think so. Yes! Winner! I am a king! Woo!
You wouldn't do it there. So don't do it here. Sportsmanship. It's up to you.
What?
Jerk.
Leading off the number 18, Dylan Bassett, Travis Wassinger on deck, back Cooper in the hole.
Come on, Shay. Trace more. Gunner.
Wellsville 3 outs away from heading into the championship game of Kansas Class 3A. They lead it 8-2. 3 more outs to go for the Sacred Heart Knights. Can they come up with one of the biggest rallies of Kansas State playoff history. There's a ground ball to short, up with it. Easy play, at least making it look easy, was Cole Gardner. One up and one down here in the home half of the 7th inning. Dylan Bassett grounds out, and now Travis Wassinger will bat from the left side. Shane Pokering is trying to close things out here now for Wellsville, and he throws a first pitch strike. Wassinger had an RBI single a little bit earlier on. We've seen plenty of offense here in this second semifinal, but Wellsville has just had a little bit more. And they've made big plays when they've needed to. And they're just about to be rewarded, I think, with a huge semifinal win. But as I say that now, a 3-1 count. There's a strike. So Picorni will move the count to 3-2. Travis Wassinger. Ball's inside, so Wassinger gonna draw a walk, a 1-out walk. So the number 7 hitter, Matt Kufler, will bat with a runner at first and 1 out. First pitch swinging, Kufler fouls it off. No balls, 1 strike. The challenge could be for Salina-Sacred Heart to rev up the engines here in just a matter of minutes and try to pick yourself up off the mat and play for 3rd place. Probably play against a Humboldt team that's just biting at the bit to get back out there, licking their wounds from their first loss of the year. There's a ground ball short. They do not get the out at second as the throw from Gardner is into right field, and he just commits a second error as Wassinger advances up to 3rd base. So runners at the corners with 1 out. Another runner or 2 gets on, and things start to get a little bit interesting. Because some of this activity is being done at the bottom of the Sacred Heart lineup. Pitch a little bit in. Shane Picorni, the right-hander, in there trying to shut the door on Sacred Heart. That one's in there for a strike. Gormley trying to pick his team up with a big hit. That one in, the fastball backs Gormley off a bit. Counts 2-1. Couple of hits today by the right fielder Gormley. There's a chopper back to the mound. They're gonna get 1, and they turn 2. And just like that, the game's over, and Wellsville is indeed into the championship game with an impressive 8-2 win over Salina-Sacred Heart. Wellsville going to move out to 19-6 overall, and the stage is set now. A showdown in the championship game between Frontenac and Wellsville for all the marbles. First pitch expected to take place at around 5:30 coming up later this evening. Meanwhile, Sacred Heart will have to settle for a 3rd place matchup with Humboldt in a game that we would expect to probably start in about a half an hour here on the KSHSAA network. I'd like to thank our crew for more excellent work. My name is Dallas Ackerman saying so long. Again, congratulations to the Wellsville Eagles. They are into the title game with a huge semifinal win here this afternoon. So long for now from Manhattan.